The Champions League is back again, and you know what that means. Matchday 3 predictions. Honestly, in the second matchday, there was a lot of upsets. We saw Tottenham draw against Bodo Glimt. We saw Liverpool lose against Galatasaray at home, which I did predict. To be honest, I tried to defend my bad predictions, but my defense is even worse than Barcelona's, so... But with that being said, there was a lot of upsets in the second match day, and hopefully in this match day, I will do much better on my predictions. Before I get into this video, if you guys haven't watched my recent videos, I reacted to Lamine Yamal's most shocking moments, and I also made a video talking about the top 5 most shocking teams so far this season. But without further ado, let's get right into these predictions. Starting off with the first match, we have Barcelona against Olympiacos. I'm not gonna lie, Barcelona this season, their attack has been incredible, but defensively, they have had a lot of issues, and we could see it from the start of the season. When they lost Inigo Martinez, I was saying that this is definitely going to affect their defense, which was a defensive lineup that already had issues last season. But now with that loss, they're experiencing even more defensive issues, and we've seen these in multiple games that they played this season. But with all the negative talk about Barcelona's defense, they are still a good team. Hansi Flick is an amazing manager, and with the home advantage, playing against Olympiacos, who haven't been very good in this campaign so far, I think Barcelona are going to win this game 4-2. Moving on to the next game, we have Kairat Almaty against Paphos. This is 100% the best game this week. But hey, I'm rooting for Kairat Almaty. I want them to get at least 1 point. I think with the home advantage, they might be able to get a point against Paphos. I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw in this game. Moving on to the next game, we have Arsenal against Atletico Madrid. Honestly, Atletico Madrid started off the season so poorly. Like, they were ass. And with all the players that they bought this summer, I was very surprised. But in recent matches, they have completely turned around. They look incredible. They beat Real Madrid 5-2. They beat Eintracht Frankfurt 5-1, and they've been scoring loads and loads of goals. But in saying that, so far this season, they still have not won a single away game, when Arsenal, on the other hand, are a very strong team at home, and defensively, they are, in my opinion, the best team in the world. I got Arsenal to win this game 2-1. Moving on to the next game, we have Bayer Leverkusen against PSG. Honestly, it's sad to see how Bayer Leverkusen have dropped off. They look like a completely different team to how they looked 2 years ago, and they look nothing near as good as what they used to. In their first 2 matches, they had to verse PSV and Copenhagen, and most people would expect them to win both of those games, but they ended up finishing with 2 draws, and now they sit pretty low on the table, needing a win if they want to advance to the knockout stages. But now they're coming up against PSG, the best team in the world, the current Champions League holders, and currently they are one of the best teams in the league phase. I still think PSG will win this game 3-1. Moving on to the next game, we have Copenhagen against Borussia Dortmund. I think Borussia Dortmund have been pretty good so far this season, and considering some of the injuries that they've already suffered, I think they're holding up pretty well. Borussia Dortmund still haven't lost a game this season in all competitions, and they've been scoring a lot of goals. If you look at them in the Bundesliga, they're averaging 2 goals per game, and in the Champions League, they have scored the most goals out of any other team other than Bayern Munich. They both scored 8 goals, with Borussia Dortmund having scored 4 against Juventus and also another 4 goals against Athletic Club. With that being said, Copenhagen do have the home advantage, but with the amount of goals Borussia Dortmund has been scoring recently, I'm going to predict them to win this game 3-1. Moving on to the next game, we have Newcastle against Benfica. Newcastle finally look like they're starting to pick up things this season. They started off so poorly, and after all the transfer drama that went on in the summer, it wasn't a great start. Benfica honestly have been very inconsistent this season. We've seen a lot of problems at the club level with the management of Benfica. Obviously, they sacked their manager, they hired Jose Mourinho, but they still don't look like they're in the best space. So for that reason, with the home advantage, I got Newcastle winning this game 2-0. Moving on to the next game, we have PSV against Napoli. This is another game that Napoli need to win. Obviously, they did lose that first game against Man City, but in this game against PSV haven't been the best this season, and Napoli need to take advantage of this. Let me ask you, do you think Napoli is going to win or lose against PSV?
I think Napoli will lose.
Lose? Man, get the fuck. Honestly, I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm going to say that Napoli are going to win this game. I think they're going to win 3-2. Moving on to the next game, we have Union Saint-Gilloise against Inter. Honestly, I think Union Saint-Gilloise have been pretty good so far in this Champions League campaign. But Inter Milan, obviously, they made it to the finals last season, And this season in the league phase, currently they're sitting in 4th place. They won both of their games. They look very comfortable. And even though they're playing away, I think they're going to win this game. I'm going to predict Inter to win this game 2-0. And finally, the last game on Tuesday is Villarreal against Manchester City. I think that there's going to be a big surprise in this game. I think Villarreal could possibly get points from Man City. I think they could get a draw. And if Man City don't play good, Villarreal might be able to get the win. But obviously, Haaland is an incredible striker. He's scored in, I think, the last 10 games in a row. He's incredible. And he could score a hat-trick in this game. You never know. But you all know that I like to make a lot of crazy predictions. So for that reason, I'm going to predict Villarreal to get a draw out of this game. And the result will be 2-2. Moving on to the Wednesday fixtures, the first game we got is Athletic Club against Karabag FK. Don't doubt Karabag. I've been saying it since the first day that Karabag is one of those teams that can upset the biggest teams. And so far, they're sitting in 6th place, having won both of their first 2 games. But sadly for Karabag, this is where I think their streak will end. Athletic Club away from home, that's a different story. They've been horrible away from home this season. But with the home advantage, they are usually a pretty strong team. And for some reason, I just feel like Karabag aren't going to have the best of games. I'm hoping that Karabag can win this game, but for these predictions, I am going to go with a 1-0 win for Athletic Club. The next game we got is Galatasaray against Bodo Glimt. Like I said in the intro, both of these teams surprised a lot of people in the last match day, where Galatasaray ended up beating Liverpool and Bodo Glimt ended up drawing against Tottenham. But in this game, they're both versing each other, and I think it's going to be a very interesting match. I'm not 100% certain who is going to win this game. I could see it going both ways, but with the home advantage, I do think Galatasaray will just edge it in this game. I'm going to predict them to win this game 2-1. The next game we got is Atalanta against Slavia Prague. Honestly, Atalanta started off the season so poorly. We saw them get 2 draws against Pisa and against Parma, who are 2 relegation teams. And then they ended up losing against PSG 4-0, which was very embarrassing. With the home advantage, I do think they will just be able to beat Slavia Prague. I'm going to predict them to win this game 1-0. The next game we got is Bayern Munich against Club Brugge. Honestly, if Bayern Munich are versing any team that's not a top 10 team, I think they're going to score 4 goals. It just seems like that every single time. Harry Kane is scoring like 2 to 3 goals a game, and the whole team looks phenomenal this season. I'm going to predict Bayern Munich to beat Club Brugge 4-1. Moving on to the next match, we have Chelsea against Ajax. Ajax have been shocking so far in this league phase. They currently sit in 2nd last place. They've been horrible. They still have 0 points from their first 2 games. Now, yes, Chelsea have been a little bit inconsistent this season. We have seen them fumble a couple games that realistically they should have won. But we did see them beat Liverpool in the last match day in the Premier League. And so far in this Champions League, they do look like a pretty good side. With the home advantage, I got Chelsea winning this game 2-0. The next game we got is Frankfurt against Liverpool. Honestly, I could see this game going both ways. I feel like both of these teams have been very inconsistent recently. If you look at Liverpool, they've lost their last 3 matches in a row. They lost to Crystal Palace, then in the Champions League, they lost to Galatasaray, and in the Premier League, they lost against Chelsea. But Frankfurt have been so inconsistent. If you look at their recent matches, they beat Galatasaray 5-1. Then they lost 4-3 against Union Berlin. Then they beat Borussia Mönchengladbach 6-4. Then they lost 5-1 to Atletico Madrid. And recently they lost 3-0 against Bayern Munich. So they're scoring loads of goals. They're conceding loads of goals. I don't know what's going on with Frankfurt. But I do think this is a game that Liverpool need to win if they want to get back on track this season. I feel like recently there's been a lot of doubt put on them. I feel like with the recent results, a lot of people are a little bit shocked. But I think they will be able to just beat Frankfurt 2-1. Moving on to the next game, we got Monaco against Tottenham. Tottenham are another team that have been a little bit inconsistent recently, where they haven't been scoring many goals and they've been getting a lot of draws. I'm going to predict this game to end in a 1-1 draw. Moving on to the next game, we have Real Madrid against Juventus. This is going to be a very interesting game. I feel like Real Madrid have been arguably the best team in the world this season, other than their one loss where they lost 5-2 against Atletico Madrid. They've been winning every single game this season, scoring loads of goals. Mbappe is on the best form we've seen of him in the last 2 years. And I think they could definitely score multiple goals against Juve. And when you look at Juve in recent matches, they've drawn their last 5 matches. Every single one of their last 5 matches have been a draw, which is kind of crazy. I think it's going to be very close. And realistically, I do think Juve could maybe get another draw from this game. But I'm going to predict Real Madrid to win this game 3-2. And finally, the last game is Sporting against Marseille. Both of these teams need to get a win from this game. Both of them have gotten 1 win and 1 loss from their first 2 matches, and they currently sit in 12th and 14th place. But the one problem with Marseille is that so far this season, they haven't been the best away. Now, recently, they've gotten a little bit better and they did win their last 2 away fixtures, but before that, they lost game after game after game away and conceded multiple goals in each of them as well. I think Sporting have looked pretty good this season. They did recently draw against Braga, but before that, they've been winning most of their games, and even though they have lost a couple main players from their team from last season, they still look like a very solid team, and with the home advantage, I think they will beat Marseille 2-1. And that is the end of this video. Those were my Champions League predictions for the 3rd match day in the UCL League phase. If you guys agree with my predictions, remember to leave a comment down below. But obviously, if you disagree with my predictions, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people will, remember to leave your predictions down below and I'll be sure to reply to every single comment. Remember to check out some of my recent videos with the link in the description. And as always, if you did enjoy this video, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more videos.